The door slammed shut with a thunderous crack that echoed through the empty hallway of their Brooklyn apartment, shattering the fragile silence like glass underfoot. "I can't do this anymore. Bronte." Daria's voice broke, raw and jagged, her Russian accent thickening with emotion as tears streamed down her pale cheeks. She clutched the crumpled letter in her fist, the one Bronte had hidden for months. The gentle lie unraveling into a storm of betrayal. In that instant, the air thickened with the metallic tang of regret, and Bronte felt her world tilt, the weight of unspoken truths crashing down like a New York downpour. Bronte stood frozen in the kitchen, the morning light filtering through the grimy window blinds, casting striped shadows on the linoleum floor. She was 32. A high school English teacher from a small Midwestern town who'd moved to the city chasing dreams of poetry and freedom. Her short brown hair framed a face etched with exhaustion, her green eyes wide with panic. Daria, her partner of 3 years, was 31. A graphic designer who'd fled Moscow as a teen for the promise of America. Her long blonde waves now disheveled, blue eyes stormy with hurt. They'd met at a queer art exhibit in Chelsea, bonding over shared sketches and stolen glances, building a life amid the hustle of subway rides and late-night diners. But now, the gentle lies Bronte had woven, to protect Daria, she'd told herself, had poisoned everything. It started innocently enough, or so Bronte convinced herself. Last fall, during a routine checkup, the doctor had uttered the words that haunted her: early-stage breast cancer. The diagnosis hit like a subway screech, brakes grinding against rails. Bronte, ever the stoic American optimist, buried it deep. She didn't want to burden Daria, who was already juggling freelance gigs and visa worries. "It's just fatigue from grading papers," she'd say with a forced smile, popping pain pills in secret while Daria brewed chamomile tea, her gentle hands massaging Bronte's tense shoulders. The lies were soft at first, like whispers in the wind, skipping appointments, hiding meds in the bathroom cabinet. But they grew, festering like untreated wounds. Daria paced the living room now, her bare feet patting softly on the worn rug that smelled faintly of their shared lavender candles. "You think I wouldn't notice? The doctor's calls you ignore. The way you wince when I hug you too tight." Her voice cracked, a sob escaping like a muffled gasp. She collapsed onto the couch, the springs creaking under her weight, and buried her face in her hands. The room filled with the distant hum of traffic outside, horns blaring like accusations. Bronte's heart pounded, a frantic drumbeat in her chest, each thump echoing the fear she'd tried to outrun. "I was scared," Bronte whispered, her voice barely audible over the ticking wall clock. She sank to her knees in front of Daria, the cool floor seeping through her jeans, grounding her in the moment's harsh reality. The scent of Daria's perfume, vanilla and spice, wafted up, a cruel reminder of their tangled sheets just hours ago. "I thought if I handled it alone, it wouldn't touch us. Wouldn't make you worry." Her hand reached out, trembling, to brush a strand from Daria's face. But Daria flinched away, the rejection stinging like salt in an open cut. "Handled it alone?" Daria laughed bitterly, the sound hollow and echoing off the exposed brick walls. "We're supposed to be partners, Bronte. Not some Hollywood script where one hero suffers in silence." She stood abruptly, grabbing her coat from the hook by the door, the fabric rustling like autumn leaves. Outside, the city awoke fully, the clatter of garbage trucks, the chatter of neighbors on fire escapes, the aroma of fresh bagels from the corner deli infiltrating through the cracked window. Daria paused, her hand on the knob, shoulders heaving with silent sobs. "I left everything for this, for us. My family disowned me when I came out. And now you hide from me?" Bronte's mind raced back to their first date. A rainy evening in a cozy Greenwich Village cafe. Daria had sketched her portrait on a napkin, her fingers smudged with charcoal, eyes sparkling with unspoken desire. "You're my muse," she'd said in that lilting accent, leaning in for their first kiss, soft and electric amid the steam of espresso. Those memories flooded Bronte now, mixing with the acrid taste of regret in her mouth. She rose, crossing the room in 3 strides, her sneakers squeaking on the floor. "Daria. Wait, please." Her voice broke, a desperate plea hanging in the air like fog. Daria turned, her eyes red-rimmed but fierce. "Why? So you can lie some more?" The words sliced deep, drawing invisible blood. But beneath the anger, Bronte saw the fear, the same terror that had gripped her own soul. Daria's hand trembled on the door, knuckles white. In that suspended moment, Bronte felt the dam break. Tears blurred her vision as she pulled Daria into her arms. The embrace fierce and unyielding. "It's cancer," she confessed. The word tumbling out like a stone from her throat. "Early stage. Treatable. But I was terrified of losing you, of becoming a burden." Her breath hitched. A ragged inhale against Daria's neck. The warmth of her skin a lifeline. Daria stiffened. Then melted. Her arms wrapping around Bronte with a strength born of love and fury. They sank to the floor together. Backs against the door. The wood cool and solid. Daria's fingers traced Bronte's cheek, wiping away tears with gentle thumbs. "You idiot," she murmured. Her accent softening the word into something affectionate. "We're in this together. Always." The room filled with their shared breaths. Sinking like heartbeats, inhale. Exhale. A rhythm of forgiveness. Outside. A pigeon cooed on the sill. The city noise fading to a distant murmur. Weeks blurred into months of chemo sessions in sterile Manhattan hospitals. The beep of 4 machines punctuating their days. Bronte shaved her head one rainy afternoon. Daria wielding the clippers with tearful determination. Turning it into a ritual of solidarity. "Bald and beautiful," Daria teased. Kissing the exposed scalp. Her lips warm and reassuring. They walked hand in hand through Central Park. The crunch of leaves underfoot. Sharing whispers of dreams, a future wedding in the Hamptons. Adopting a dog from the shelter. The lies dissolved. Replaced by raw honesty. Each confession deepening their bond like roots in fertile soil. One crisp spring morning. As cherry blossoms swirled in the breeze. Bronte received the all-clear. They celebrated at their favorite rooftop bar in Williamsburg. Clinking glasses of sparkling cider under string lights. The skyline twinkled. A sea of stars mirrored in steel and glass. Daria leaned in. Her eyes locking with Bronte's. "No more hiding," she said softly. Her voice carrying over the jazz playing faintly below. Bronte nodded. Her heart full. "Daria," she called her name at last. Not in whisper or fear. But in pure, unfiltered love. It echoed between them. A promise sealed in the city's endless hum. In that moment, regret faded. Leaving only the truth, they'd emerged stronger. Their love no longer veiled by gentle lies.